Everybody. In this video, we're going to talk about what a proportion is, and we'll talk about two methods that you can use to help your students solve proportional word problems. So, the definition of a proportion is that it's a math statement that says that two ratios are equivalent to each other. And usually, when we write proportions, part of one of the ratios will be missing. So in this case, what I have written here, this is a proportion because it's saying that the ratio 3 to 2 is equivalent to the ratio 15 to 10. Now, in a word problem, it would be likely that maybe this number might be missing. And we'll go through some examples, or maybe you might have this number missing. Um, so usually when we're solving proportional word problems, one of these numbers will be missing and we'll be trying to figure out what that missing number is. So for example, let's say that Maggie used $5 to make four hair bows. And the question is how much money does she need to make 28 hair bows? So we could use a proportion to solve this because the ratio of money to the amount of hair bows she can make is 5 to 4. So this is money, this is hair bows. And this ratio is equivalent to the thing we're trying to find where she's making 28 hair bows, and we want to know how much money does she need to make. So in this case, because we know that these two ratios are equivalent, we just need to find out what that question mark is using our skills of finding equivalent ratios. So remember, equivalent ratios have a multiplicative relationship between each other. And so since 4 times 7 equals 28, I could do $5 times 7 to find out that I need $35 to make 28 hair bows. So this is one way that you can solve proportional word problems. And it's probably the easiest way for your students to solve them if these numbers are multiples of each other or factors of each other. Now, sometimes they won't be. And in that case, you can use an idea called cross multiplying. So the idea of cross multiplying is that if you multiply the denominator and the numerator of the opposite ratios, so like 2 times 15 gives you 30, that's going to be equivalent to the other denominator and the other numerator multiplied together. And this will be true regardless of what the equivalent ratios are. And you can use this fact to help you solve word problems like this one. So in this case, we still have the situation where it takes Maggie $5 to make 4 hair bows. So that ratio is the same. But this time we're asking how much money does she need to make 33 hair bows? And in this case, there's not a easy number to multiply 4 by to get the number 33. 4 times 8 equals 32, but we're trying to figure out how much money she needs to make 33 hair bows. So in this case, rather than just finding the factor and multiplying it, we're going to do cross multiplication. So when I multiply 5 times 33, that gives me the number 165. And this needs to be equal to 4 times whatever this number is that I'm trying to find. So I'm going to write this as 4 times question mark. Now we could use our fact families to say, okay, well, 4 times something equals 165. And that something is going to equal 165 divided by 4. And since your students probably don't have this memorized, you could do long division and you could say, okay, if I have 165, I divide it by 4. I can't split 100 into 4 groups, so I'll have 0 hundreds in my answer. But if I exchange that 100 for 10 tens and combine it with these 6 tens, then I'll have 16 tens, which means I can put 4 tens in each group, subtract the 16 tens that I divided up into those 4 tens in each of the 4 groups. And then I have 5 ones that I need to divide up. So if I put 5 ones and I divide those into 4 equal groups, I get 1 1 in each group. One in each group takes care of 4 of the ones, and I have 1 left over. Then I could exchange that 1 for 10 tenths, and I would have 10 tenths split up into 4 groups, which gives me 2 tenths. And I'm realizing I should have given myself more room. But if I have 2/10 in each of my 4 groups, then I have 2/10 left over because I used up 8 of my tenths. And I could exchange those 2/10 for 20 hundredths. And those 20 hundredths, when I split them up into 4 groups, will have 5 hundredths in each. So there's a little teeny 5 right there. And so that tells me that my question mark equals $41.25. So it would cost Maggie $41.25 to make 4 hair bows. So this is how you could solve this problem using cross multiplication. And notice that this answer is reasonable because if we approximate our answer and we say, well, 4 times 8 equals 32. If we multiply 5 times 8, this equals 40. And so it's reasonable that our answer would be $41.25. Another way you could also do this is you could find the unit rate. So if we have $5 for every 4 hair bows, you could use that as a unit rate and say that it takes 5/4 of a dollar to make 1 hair bow. That would be the unit rate. And 5/4 of a dollar is $1.25. And that also makes sense based on the answer we got here because we have $1.25 more than $40, and one more hair bow than 32 hair bows would make the 33. So there's lots of different ways to solve proportional word problems. So we talked about how you can use equivalent fractions, cross multiplying, and in our future videos, we'll talk about how you can also use double number lines, tables, graphs, and equations. So if you have any questions, let me know, and I hope that you guys have a great day.